We are competitive, naturally. Our father likes to say if that wasn't for that competitiveness and the nature that we have to compete with one another, we wouldn't be where we are today. My name is Przemek Garboczewski. I'm with Legacy Brothers Capital, so it's a search fund in waiting. We're here to connect with investors, peer ETA searchers, and brokers and SBA lenders, just forming relationships because that's what this space is about.
My name is Bart, or Bartosz in Polish, and I learned about the ETA for the first time when I was at Harvard Business School, so I'm an MBA class 2022. My first impression was it's an alternative career path, which may be very rewarding for people who are willing to take the risk on themselves and just be a little bit more creative than pursuing maybe a traditional corporate career. We were both immigrants. My brother moved to the US about 20 years ago. I moved 10 years ago. But we come from a lower middle class family back in Poland, and we are the mid-80s kids. I like to say that we do have elbows, but they are nice and round. But the fact that we came from a Poland that was coming out from the socialist system into market economy increases our appetite a little bit for risk. And also we want to take advantage of capital markets in the US. That's something that Poland didn't have many years ago. When we were kids, this is a little bit of an anecdote. Both of our grandparents, one of them actually owned an orchard with cherries in the back of the house. The other one was really good at making marmalade. What we would do, we would actually pick the cherries from one grandma's orchard, sell it to our other grandmother, who would then turn it into marmalade that we would eat. So that's where we learned entrepreneurship.
We come from the family, grandparents lived through World War II. They all kind of fled the Russian occupation, but they all went to grad schools. Two of them became lawyers. So grandma was a prosecutor, grandpa was a judge. On our mother's side, the grandfather was an engineer. He actually started the first radio in our hometown, and grandma was a diplomat. So I think just surviving war and thriving after that in a country that was devastated, that was a lot of entrepreneurship. And when it comes to drive, I think we get it from a lot of that from that generation.
The vision that I personally have also, I think shared with my brother, is if we succeed here, and I think we will, we just get a good exit, we can now consider investing in Poland. With knowing the culture, the language, having connection, I think it's going to be important. And considering that the last few exits in Poland, ETA traditional routes, were pretty successful, I think there's going to be more and more opportunities there as Poland continues to grow and participates in rebuilding of Ukraine. That's also an opportunity in and of itself.
We talked to about 30 ETA CEOs and searchers, former searchers. Some of them were actually siblings. The one thing that comes out is setting clear boundaries in terms of personal dynamic. I think as every brother couple or sister couple, siblings generally, we are competitive, naturally. Our father likes to say if that wasn't for that competitiveness and the nature that we have to compete with one another, we wouldn't be where we are today. So in a way, it's a strength, but I think good governance, clear decision-making structure, maybe bringing another partner to the table could be that voice of reason between the two of us as well to say, hey, let's take a step back. It's a very different setup and kind of help us solve the hardest problems smoothly. That's probably the way to go.
My perspective may be a little different, but I think it's important to focus on why we're doing it first and like gravitating towards each other's strengths to actually strengthen the business and grow it. We're competitive, like my brother said, and I think it would be very hard for us to decide, for example, who's going to call the shots. It needs to be equal skin in the game, in my personal view. And that's something that every family that is coming together to run an ETA fund and then operate a company will have to consider.